Hey guys, it's John Cochran with homebackers.com, and I have a really powerful video coming your way because people, whenever their credit is a little bit low, they just assume that they cannot get a loan. But guys, that is not the case, because if your credit is lower than normal, you guys can still get a loan. So I have with me a credit counselor, and I'm going to basically just do an interview with her. So she's going to tell you kind of what the process is to go ahead and get your credit up so that you guys can go ahead and get a loan and go ahead and buy a home or whatever you guys need to do. So why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself and where you're from and everything, and the name of your company.
My name's Alicia Wydan, and I'm with Learning for Life Center, and I'm a certified credit counselor.
Okay, so she's a certified credit counselor, which is really popular, and it's a really good thing to have on your team whenever your credit is low in order to go ahead and get it up. So basically, in order to go ahead and get a loan, how high does your credit need to be? Just the bare minimum. What does your credit need to be in order to go ahead and get a loan?
What I'm finding from most lenders is they would like you to have the minimum of a 640 credit score.
So a 640 credit score at the absolute minimum. Now, is that like an FHA, conventional, or what type of
that
loan is that?
That would be generally an FHA.
An FHA. So it is possible to go ahead and do a loan at like a 640 score.
Correct.
Okay.
There are some lenders that can go below that, but you're getting into not very solid territory there, because they may think that they can approve you, but you're going to have a rough ride.
Okay. So say I came to you. So I'm assuming that you just have clients come to you on a daily basis or whatever, they call you or whatever. But say that I have bad credit, and what would I do? What do I need to go ahead and do what do I need to give you in order for you to go ahead and help me get my credit higher? Because that's what you do as a credit counselor. You go ahead and you look at people's credit, and then what do you do exactly?
Well, we start out, we want to get a current credit report, so we can do a very thorough review of that credit report. In my office, we look at it in two different ways. We look at it as a credit counselor, because there's certain things we could do to improve the credit score, but we also look at it as a lender, because we do have licensed loan officers on staff to see what we need to do to get them ready to be approved for a loan as well, because there can be two different things that you can do on a credit report for those two different goals in mind. Okay,
so basically what you're saying is that whenever like a new person, so say again that I have bad credit, I contact you, and then basically you pull my credit report, take a look at it, find out what creditors have dinged my credit and stuff like that, and then you basically just work off of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what is the process? Whenever you find out exactly what my credit is, so say it's below the 640 to go ahead and get a loan, what typically do you do with? So say I have a bunch of credit card debt. What do you typically do with, say Chase or whoever that I have a bunch of credit card debt with? What do you do with them in order to go ahead and raise my score and get so I can buy a home?
What I find a lot of times, it's not someone who has bad credit per se. It's just lack of management of credit. So they may have, like you said, a lot of debt with credit card companies and things like that. And there's some rules to the game as far as ratios with your credit limit versus your balance. So we work with the clients to get their balance below 40%, but our main goal is 20%, because that's a magic number to increase your credit score the highest, is get the balances down. So
basically on like a credit card, if I owe $1,000 on a credit card, then if I owe $1,000 and the limit on my credit card is $1,000, then basically a lender, in the lender's eyes, they're wanting it to see that I'm carrying a balance below $400.
Yeah.
So that I have available.
Right, because the credit bureau, the bureaus have a computer system, and when you're maxed out on your credit card, even though the creditor says you can use that much money, in the lender's eyes or the credit bureau's computer system, you're maxed out, so you're at greater risk. Why do you need to use all this credit? So credit's a fine line. You want to show that you want credit, they don't need it.
Okay.
You have to have it, and you got to want it, but you don't need it.
Right.
And showing how you can manage it.
So the lenders are wanting to see that I'm not maxing out everything.
Absolutely.
Okay. So say that it's just not necessarily credit card debt, but say that I've had some things in the past. Maybe I've had some credit cards charge off. I keep talking about credit cards, but that's typically a lot of what people's debts really are. But say that I had some credit cards that charged off. So say I didn't make the payment for, say, maybe 6 months or so, and the bank, Chase, or whoever, is the bank on that, say they charge it off. I mean, what do you do in that? Do you go with them and start negotiating with them and, getting them to settle? Or, I mean, how does that work?
Yes. And that's where a credit counselor versus the lender's eyes come in mind when someone's looking to purchase. If you have a charged off credit card, it's something that's essential to be paid. So in our office, we have settlement agents who will work with the client and the creditor to come up with a resolution for that settlement. And obviously, if you owe $1,000 to the company, we're looking to try to settle it for $300 or less. Right. Okay. So we're trying to save our clients money, but also get the debt resolved. It's something that has to be done. Unfortunately, as a credit counselor, if the account's been charged out for more than 2 years, by paying it, we're actually going to decrease your credit score. But it's essential when they're looking to purchase.
Did you hear that? You're decreasing it if you actually pay it in 2 years. So that's coming straight from her. So you need to talk to her on that, because it makes sense. Common knowledge would go ahead and say you pay it, you get over with it, and your credit's going to go back up. But you just heard it. That's not really what happens. So keep listening.
And unfortunately, a lot of our clients will come to us and have paid a lot of that old debt and actually decrease their credit scores dramatically when it was debt that we would not have suggested they paid because of the time frame of that, or we would have settled it and got it removed completely so that it wouldn't affect their score and would have increased their score. So definitely it's not an easy art to figure out what to do with your credit. I definitely advise, especially if you're looking to purchase a home or do any kind of transaction with credit, that you speak to a credit counselor that can facilitate that.
Absolutely. So basically, if I'm looking for, again, I have bad credit. If I'm looking to go ahead and buy a home from home backers, what do I do? I mean, obviously, I'm going to go to you, but what do I need to give you? I mean, do I just have to give you my Social Security number? Do I have to give you the keys to my car? What do I have to give you?
Well, at Learning for Life Center, one of the things we're able to do is give you a resource to a website where you can get your own credit report, which is a soft pull, which there's a difference between soft and hard. A soft pull is you looking at your credit yourself, and it doesn't affect your credit score. So we'll send you to that website. You'll get a credit report. We'll give you a log on and password, which you'll share with Learning for Life Center, and then we'll review the credit report, and we take it from there. Every plan is very tailored to meet individual needs, so there's never a step-by-step absolute that we go through.
Okay.
It's very different.
So really, you're just going to go ahead and look from this website. You're just going to go ahead and look at my credit, see what it is, and then there's really no documents that you need from me. I mean, it's not like I have to give you my birth certificate or anything like that.
And even the website doesn't ask for your Social Security number and some of that personal information.
Now, on this website, I'm assuming that it's, you said that it's a soft pull and everything, so it's not going to damage my credit, but is my information secure with that website?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure that I'm going to have to go ahead and give my Social Security number for them to do that soft pull. Correct. But it is secured, so I'm not going to get a call in a week from creditors or the mafia or anything like that, coming after me.
I don't personally own the site, but it is a secure site. It doesn't ask you for your Social Security number. It'll ask you for your name, your full name, your address, your date of birth, and then it'll ask you some multiple choice questions about what's on your credit to make sure they got the right person before they issue your credit report. And then you get a full credit report based on Experian, as well as a credit score and a letter grade, like an A, B, C, D, or F, just like in school, when you know where you fall under that umbrella.
So typically, I mean, give me a ballpark. Like, how long does it typically take? So when somebody has bad credit, how long does it typically take for them to go out and buy a home if they use your services?
Good question. Most of our clients, between 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
We do have some really nice, what we call our miracle work, where it might take a week to 2 weeks and things like that. Just it really depends on what's on their credit. I do have access to kind of, I call it the back door to the credit bureaus to get in and get some things changed right away. I only use that if there's like a few corrections that need to be made. And
okay. So typically you're looking at around the 3 to 6 month range, because a lot of people think. I mean, me being a realtor, a lot of people think that, well, their credit's bad, they can't buy a house for 2 years.
Right.
Just because their credit's bad. But that just goes to show you guys that even if your credit is not, the best, it doesn't matter. You can still go ahead and get your credit up. I mean, she just said that a 640 credit score, you can still go ahead and get a loan. Now, that's the bare minimum. I mean, that's the bare minimum that, lenders are going to want to go ahead and see. And that's not every lender. So that's just kind of in general, what people, are wanting and for a credit score basically. But the higher it is, the better it is, and that's the better interest rate and everything that you're going to get. But I mean, it's just people just think that just because their credit is low that they have no hopes. They'll never be able to buy a home or anything like that. And guys, that is so false because it's just not true. Because I mean, and I've done a lot of work with Allie personally, with sending a lot of people. Actually, we just closed a loan yesterday. Same exact situation. The guy came to Allie, and then his credit was not the best. We just closed it yesterday, and he got an awesome interest rate, and he wasn't in the system that long. And we went ahead and he got a home, and he got a nice home too. I mean, this was a $180,000 home, but 6 months ago the guy couldn't even buy a car. So that just goes to show you guys that even if your credit is a little bit low, get a credit counselor. Homebackers can put you in contact with a credit counselor so that you guys can get your credit score up so that you can go ahead and afford a home and so that you can actually go ahead and get a loan. So, Allie, basically, whenever they go to you to go ahead and get a loan and then you actually get them fixed, you get them up to the 640 or higher, what do they do then? I mean, what's the steps after that? They're fixed, right?
They're fixed. I do show them ways to maintain their credit and keep. I see a lot of times that credit is not an issue with people not being able to maintain their credit per se. It has established roots in financials, so we have them organized that way, and then we make sure that they get sent back to home backers and get with their real estate agent to start the home buying process and start looking at homes, but also to the lender, whomever they chose, to get pre-approved.
Okay, so basically, whenever they're done, you get their credit score up. It's not like you just kick them out the door and say, your credit score is higher.
No.
Your credit score is higher, now don't talk to me ever again. So you actually set them up so that they never get into that financial situation again.
Right. And the goal is that it's a learning process, and that they can, if issues come up in their credit in the future, they're able to handle that on their own.
Okay. That's awesome. So, guys, you can get in contact with your Homebacker's realtor, and we can go ahead and get you in contact with Allie. And I can tell you that you're probably thinking, this is just going to be so expensive that, there's just no way that I can go ahead and afford. She's probably going to cost thousands of dollars just to go ahead and get this fixed. I'd just rather pay off my debt. Guys, I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you the price right now, but you can contact us, and it will blow your mind with literally how cheap it is to go ahead and get your credit fixed, how fast you can go ahead and get it fixed, but I can tell you it's way less than $500. So that's all I'm going to say on video, is that it's less than $500. And I mean, for somebody to go ahead and fix your credit for less than $500, and it's not $499, you're trying to get the price out of me, but it's, for somebody to go ahead and set you up, very inexpensively, and to have the knowledge of a certified credit counselor to go ahead and fix your credit so that you can go ahead and buy a home, guys, that is so cheap that it's not even funny. And actually, Homebackers has programs that not everybody qualifies on, but Homebackers does have programs that we will actually take care of that fee for you. Whenever you go ahead and buy a home through us. So not everybody goes ahead and gets into that program. It's a special program, but it definitely is out there, so that Homebackers will go ahead and pick up that fee. We'll send you to Allie, and then basically we will get your credit fixed so that you can go ahead and buy a house. So if you guys are looking to buy a home, you can definitely go to homebackers.com, and you can search every single home on there that we have. So Allie, do you have anything else to say? Any closing words for anybody that general questions that you might get from people in general, or do you have anything else to give anybody?
The only thing I would say is there's a lot of people that are going through bankruptcies right now, and a lot of those individuals.
Short sales is another one. Short sales. If you've had a short sale or a foreclosure on your credit.
Yeah, I have a lot of the questions come to me. People call me. They've just gotten out of those transactions or getting ready to go into those transactions. And they think that it's probably a lost cause to speak with a credit counselor, but it's absolutely the best time to do it, because then we set you in motion, and it is amazing. A year from the time that you have a bankruptcy, and even less than that, I can have your credit scores up in the 700s. And then once you go through that time frame that the lenders require you to be out of those transactions, you're going to be so solid that everyone's going to want you. So
So that they can, basically go into bankruptcy if they do have to go ahead and do that. And then very shortly after that, you can, make them looking just squeaky clean on a, piece of paper, basically to show all these banks so that basically they can go out very quickly and buy a home right after they just had, the worst time of their life to have the best time of their life. And
right. It's absolutely a wonderful time for a person to get started and get back on track with their life and their credit scores. It's amazing how fast our credit scores improve. At Learning for Life Center, we have affiliates with banks where we can get reestablished credit, because that's the hardest part, is once you've had something like that happen, lenders don't want to give you a credit card, even if it's a secure credit card. So we're able to get those for our clients.
Sure. That's awesome. So, that's so dead on. She's so right on, if you are getting ready to go into a financial situation, where you might have to file bankruptcy or whatever, guys, you should still contact us, because I'm telling you, I've seen these people work miracles. And like I said, we just closed one yesterday, on this, where the guy was buying $170,000 or $180,000 home. I can't even remember. But, and the guy just 6 months ago was, he couldn't buy anything. So even if you guys, are having trouble or whatever, get in touch with your Homebackers Realtor. We will get you in touch with Allie, and we can get you onto home ownership, because that is the ultimate goal of everything. Again, if you are looking to buy a home, and you can go search everything at homebackers.com. We'll talk to you soon.